So you need to unmute, my dear.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this special dual Sangha retreat organized by Venerable Canda on behalf of Anukampa Bhikkhuni Project. My name is Rani, and I'm one of the co-hosts assisting Venerable Canda on this Zoom platform, along with Derek, which is in charge for the Q&A for the afternoon session, and Matthias as a co-host. I will be recording and live streaming the teaching session for morning and evening sessions. So, as what Venerable Canda has mentioned earlier, Ajahn Brahm and Venerable Canda founded Anukampa in 2016. It's a UK charity with a dual aim of promoting the teachings and practices of early Buddhism and developing the first monastery in the UK, where women can train toward full Bhikkhuni ordination. Ajahn Brahm has been coming to teach us in England in support of this aim every year since then. But due to the COVID pandemic, for the second year running, we are extremely grateful that he has agreed to teach online for us, along with Venerable Canda, instead of coming in person. So we're very grateful for that, Ajahn Brahm. And in the true spirit of Buddhism, this retreat and all the teachings are offered freely in spirit of generosity. Neither of the teachers will receive any material remuneration for their wisdom or time. At the end of the retreat, you will be invited to offer donations or dana to help us achieve our monastery aims. And you can do this entirely at your own discretion via our website link at www.anukampaproject.org/donate. So this retreat is also an important event for Anukampa as it helps to build our building community and strengthen local and international support. On the last day of the retreat, we will also share more about the different ways you may like to be involved. But the most profound support of all, though, is in deepening our practice together. And it is really delightful to have people joining us from all over the world. We have from Sri Lanka, we have from Germany, and everywhere. So without further ado, I will now hand over to Venerable Canda, who will welcome Ajahn Brahm and orient you into the retreat.
Thank you so much, Rani. Very beautifully introduced. So yes, welcome to this retreat. This is the Emboldening the Mind with Fizz and Sparkle retreat. And for those tuning in on live stream, we are recording this now on Facebook. So hello to you as well. You're in the right place. And we hope you enjoy following along some of these sessions with us. So welcome to the shared space of spiritual community. We are going to be together for the next 7 days, and the retreat will start very shortly with an introduction and the precepts from Ajahn Brahm. So you have an opportunity to take either the 5 or the 8 precepts. And for those who have read all the information, you'll know that the 5 precepts are the basic ethical virtues, and the 8 include not eating after midday. Many of you are in Europe, so that would mean eating between this session and the second one. So if you want to take 8, that's a little bit of a further enunciation. So it's entirely up to you. So we're going to be finishing this retreat on Sunday at 3 p.m. after a final teaching session by Ajahn Brahm. And also we'll have an opportunity at that time to share our experiences with the other participants. Until then, we'll just be in silence and practicing as if we're alone. So on the website, we've explained that this retreat is designed to be spacious and to give you a lot of personal practice time, as well as a lot of teaching input. But we really encourage you to find your own rhythm and pace with the practice. And we'll give you some tips on how to make best use, excuse me, of that time, especially your personal practice time. And we are asking for full-time attendance for this retreat, and it's very encouraging to see that most of you are here this morning. And this is to help you get the full benefit of the practice, because it's really the continuity of practice that's the secret of success, as my first teacher used to say. So practicing on a home retreat is quite different from just watching the online talks. Of course, those who are watching online talks can try to have a retreat at the same time if you're fortunate to be in that position. But we're really trying to recreate the same conditions that you'd have in a residential in-person retreat. So one of the powerful ways that it differs from watching the online talks is that we carve out a space that's dedicated to solitary and silent practice, with none of the usual distractions and disturbances that you have in your everyday life. So essentially, you're taking time out of your everyday life to delve deeply into your inner world. So to support yourself in this process, please try to maintain noble silence. And this also includes not using electronic devices like the one that I'm reading from. So try not to do that. Such as your mobile phone or even emails. You know, obviously you need to find the link for this retreat, but you can probably paste that somewhere other than your email box, your inbox. Otherwise, you're likely to get distracted by people contacting you. You can even put a little vacation responder on your email account, and then you feel more protected from the outside. So such noble silence really helps cultivate what we call sense restraint. And that in turn facilitates the quietening of the mind and the cultivation of inner happiness and peace. So we're asking all retreatants to try and use this Zoom room as a virtual Dhamma hall. If you remember all those years ago when we used to sit together in meditation halls, we'll try to create that kind of environment here. So just as you'd maintain silence in a Dhamma hall, you remain silent in this room, so that even as we're together, we work as though we were alone. For your Zoom settings, you can choose to have this on speaker view. You'll see at the top right corner, there's a little box with like 9 little squares that says view, and you can either have speaker view, whereby you'll only see whoever's talking at the time, or you can have gallery view, where you'll see all the other participants as well, and just see what feels most supportive to you. Sometimes it can be nice to just focus on the speaker. Other times you might want that sense of being here with others. So you can experiment, but we do ask that you please don't interact with each other at this time until the end of the retreat, because obviously anyone you interact with is also on retreat, and it really supports them if we try to work individually as if we're alone. So normally, for those who come to my online sessions, there's a chat box to use to speak to each other, to say hello. But we're going to disable that function this time. So if you have questions for Ajahn Brahm or for me during the Q&A sessions, so that's the session from 12 till 1:30 in the afternoon, that's UK time. So in Europe, maybe 1 to 2:30. And there's people from all over the world here, so you can work that out. The second session will be an opportunity to put questions to Ajahn Brahm, and then the evening session will be an opportunity to put questions to me. And we'll do that by submitting them to either Derek or Rennie, who will use the name Q&A. So now you see it's Q&A Derek, and later it will be Q&A Rennie. No one else will see your question, and it will limit the amount of interaction we have. So in the afternoon, I'll read out the questions for Ajahn Brahm. And in the evening, I guess I read them myself. No, it's fine. Okay, so please keep your questions concise and related to your meditation practice. Especially concise is really key, because then it enables us to really attend to many people's questions. So not whole life stories, but of course, sometimes things might come up that, you know, are a bit more complicated, but just try to put it in a way that enables many people to have an opportunity to ask. And at most, we'd recommend 1 question per person per day. It is quite a big group. There's about 70 people here. So without any further discussion, I'm going to now hand over to Ajahn Brahm and say how grateful and delighted we are to have you with us again, Ajahn. It's always a very special time of year when Ajahn can be with us. And as we were saying, normally it's in person, but now it's online. However, it can still feel quite intimate and very supportive and nourishing to be in this space together. And that's why we do ask for the full-time attendance, because it's amazing. After a while, you actually forget that you're in an online retreat and you're not in an actual retreat. So it's really a precious opportunity to have the deeper teachings and to take them a bit further through this period of solitude. So I'm sure everyone is just as delighted as I am to have you here, Ajahn. And in my little blurb, it says that you don't need any introduction because you're not only famous, but you're also infamous, mainly for very good things like ordaining bhikkhunis. But I do think that not much needs to be said. I'll say one thing, which is that yesterday it was Ajahn Brahm's 47th anniversary as a monk. So this is really amazing, right? I mean, I'm only 46. Yeah. So I think I was waiting to be born until Ajahn became a monk. So you've been ordained as long as I've been alive and a bit longer, Ajahn.
Yes, okay.
Very inspiring. So handing over to you now for the precepts and the refuges and to introduce the day. So thank you very much. And please have a wonderful retreat.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So thank you, Ajahn. It's very nice to be of service wherever you can be and however you can do it. I get a lot of inspiration out of that. So many people you've served over those last 47 years. But now we're supposed to be giving the refuges and the precepts. Before I actually give those, when I started keeping precepts, it meant so much to me. And sometimes that you see how these precepts, when they're really understood, they just make you more free. They make you just more able to enjoy your life by letting go of all these other little things which get in the way of your peace and happiness. It's just things we just don't do. We don't kill beings. We don't steal anything. And even things like that, it means people can leave things around and they know they'll be protected. And no adultery, no lying. It's a wonderful thing to actually to be honest, and people know you're honest. And no alcohol or drugs, you don't need them. That's really a wonderful thing to know that when all your friends were, going out to parties and getting drunk, I would go to the same party, but never take alcohol. And you had a much better time, and you felt much better about yourself afterwards. And as you go do more precepts, it becomes more empowering. It's as if you are being free, freeing yourself from all of those things which try to control you. You know what it's like when you get into these bad habits. It's very hard to stop them. And when it comes to the next precepts of the 8 precepts, there's learning how to restrain yourself. There's many things you don't need to do, like entertainment. Sometimes you see monks and nuns, we don't watch movies or go to clubs or whatever, but sometimes we laugh so much. It's crazy. Sometimes people think you must be on drugs. We're not on drugs. We're free of those things. They have all the natural energy. You have lots of happiness. So all these little things which we do, they're restraints, but they free us. They give more energy, a more sense of being at peace in this world. So anyway, I'll now give those precepts. I will start with the 3 refuges because that's how we usually start. So those of you who want to join in, I will do them in English. Hopefully that's okay for you all. So you can put your hands up if you wish. And you say after me, I go for refuge to the Buddha. I go for refuge to the Dhamma. I go for refuge to the Sangha. For the 2nd time, I go for refuge to the Buddha. For the 2nd time, I go for refuge to the Dhamma. For the 2nd time, I go for refuge to the Sangha. For the third time, I go for refuge to the Buddha. For the third time, I go for refuge to the Dhamma. For the third time, I go for refuge to the Sangha. And that completes the 3 refuges. Beautiful thing to do. And over the years, the more you practice, the more you feel their power. And now we have the precepts. The first precept is, I will refrain from deliberately killing living beings. I will refrain from deliberately taking what is not given in the form of stealing. The third precept, I will refrain from sexual misconduct. And if you're taking the 8 precepts, that is extended, deepened to I will refrain from all sexuality. Just during the retreat time, longer if you wish. For the 4th precept, I will refrain from lying or deceiving people. For the 5th precept, I will refrain from taking alcohol or non-medicinal drugs, which weaken my mindfulness. And those of you who are taking the 8 precepts, we have these 3 extra precepts, and I will refrain from eating solid food in the period after noon until the dawn of the next day. During that period, you can still have juices like orange juice and tea and coffee and chocolate and cheese, and it's up to you really how you interpret these things. Sometimes milk or soya milk, but nothing really solid. And the next precept is this is a long precept, is to refrain from, first of all, adorning your body with jewelry or makeup. In other words, it's okay to wash and to use deodorants, but not just to have anything which entices other beings to be close to you. In other words, it's just ordinary, just what you might call, I can't think of the word now, but just cleanliness and good hygiene. Hygiene is the word I was looking for, but not just to anything which is beautifully smelling or beautiful looking. Simple clothes, simple attire. And also not looking at music or entertainment videos or anything which, again, disturbs the mind in the sense of entertainment. It's okay to listen to my jokes, because I'm sure you all know that many of my jokes aren't that funny, so it's very hard to call them entertainment. And then we have the last precept, is not using luxurious furnishings. So in other words, that we don't deliberately go out and have really luxurious chairs or seats to sit on. It's not just mentioning, if you need that for a comfortable sleep at night or comfort when you're sitting in meditation, that's fine. What it was really referring to is where people use like high seats as a form of their superiority, as their ego is on a high seat, or luxurious furnishings such as big beds. They're not really as comfortable as sleeping on the floor, in my opinion, but nevertheless, they do that just to show off to other people. So we refrain from doing things like that. In other words, we have simplicity. And those are the 8 precepts. So you can determine to keep those 8 precepts or those 5 precepts, however you can during this retreat. Now, we usually say 5 precepts or 8 precepts, but some people do 6 precepts or 7 precepts, simply because you may have some indigestion or something and you need to eat something in the afternoon. Keep it simple. And you understand the purpose of these 5 precepts or 8 precepts. In other words, having a comfortable body, but not indulging. and keeping things simple in life. And that's actually what those precepts mean. They're not a burden, but they're a gateway to freedom. So then you say, for the next 7 days, I determine to keep these precepts. Great. So having done that, we're now going to have a short Dhamma talk about meditation, and follow that I think I'm going to have to do half an hour little talk and then do a guided meditation. So when we do our meditation, I think I've seen many of you before, so I think you all know that how I teach meditation is one of the most simple things in the world to do. One of the reasons people find it difficult is because they don't do it properly. By doing it properly, I mean that sometimes they put so much effort into their meditation. They really try so hard. And instead of trying so hard, we have this other idea of lowering your expectations. I mentioned this recently because I have a monk who's visiting me from one of our little future branch monasteries down in Albany. And he was asked in a recent talk that when I went down to visit him, what my reaction was. And I told everybody after I visited him that it was his little hermitage was beyond my expectations. He was quite surprised by that comment. And then I told him that the reason why it was beyond my expectations was because I'd lowered my expectations so far that anything would exceed the expectations. Now, that was not just a joke. That was actually something which was very powerful, because we sometimes have too many expectations and then we miss the reality of what we're experiencing. So I don't know what you know about meditation, but sometimes we have all expectations, which means we don't see the truth of this moment. We don't know how to make peace with it. We don't know how to learn from it. So little by little, during this retreat, you'll have some very interesting experiences. Some are just going to be wonderful experiences, some not so wonderful. But nevertheless, all of those experiences you will find you can learn from and grow from. One of my first meditation teachers told me, there is no such thing as a bad meditation. And my first response to that was, sir, you don't know my meditation. I don't know what you think I'm doing. He said, no. All the meditations, if it doesn't go according to plan, not your expectations, that is the error there. You're expecting too much and you're not learning. You're not learning from what you're experiencing. And learning the way to meditate is not to get rid of things. It's not to attain things. It's learning how to be here and allowing yourself to go in. Go in to this moment. And you'll find that when you want something, when you're complaining, all you're doing is strengthening what we call in Buddhism the hindrances, the 5 hindrances. And as you avoid that problem, and you have this much greater loving kindness, metta, compassion, you really are opening the door of your heart to this moment with kindness. You'll find that this moment is nowhere near as bad as you thought it was. And you go more into it. And as you go more into this moment, you'll find that that is the way. That is the escape. It is something which the Buddha, or Venerable Ananda, reported the Buddha had said, the little escapes from suffering. The escapes are going inwards, into this body and mind, into the silence, into the present moment, into whatever you're experiencing now. It opens up. So the simile which best represents this, and please know that I never plan my talks. I just see what comes next. And this simile is one of the most beautiful ones, which I concocted many, many years ago. And this was a simile about the 1,000-petaled lotus. The lotus is a common symbol of Buddhism, all types of Buddhism. And the nice thing about the lotus, there's many things about the lotus. One of the things about a lotus is you can urinate on a lotus, and all the urine, no matter how thick and smelly it is, will all fall off the leaves, the petals of the lotus, and nothing sticks to it. It still smells the same afterwards. Or you can pour Chanel No. 5 over the lotus, and that too will run all off it, and so that when it's all gone, you can't even smell the perfume anymore. It still smells like a lotus. And that simile, which you can understand it, it's very clear that if people praise you, that's like pouring Chanel No. 5 over you, but it doesn't stick to you. You're free of that. If they criticize you, that's like urinating over the lotus. The smell doesn't linger on the lotus. All of that flows off as well. And the lotus still smells the same afterwards. Now the lotus always has a very pure smell. It's not strong, but it's subtle and gorgeous. So this is actually the praise and blame simile of the lotus. Nothing affects you. But where we get to the deeper simile of the lotus, that is why a lotus is always closed up at nighttime. And as it opens, so it's closed up at nighttime, and during the daytime, when the sun comes out, the lotus starts to open up. It needs the warmth and the light of the sun to open it up. That's what sort of creates the mechanism for opening up the lotus. And the warmth of the sun stands for kindness, the softness, this loving kindness. And the light stands for mindfulness. It does take mindfulness and kindness to open up the lotus. In other words, what we call kindfulness. Sometimes people use mindfulness, sometimes they use willpower, but they forget the importance of the kindfulness, the gentleness, the warmth, the love. We do that when we're meditating. It's easy to love beautiful things, but to love irritating things, that's what we learn. So it opens it up. And that's the irritation, what we sometimes think is bad meditation. As that sort of, we just accept it, be kind to it, go inside, well, we go inside of it. It's its nature. That leaf opens up. We go to the next layer of petals. So that can receive the warmth and light of the sun. And that opens up to receive to see the next layer of petals. So that can open up. Layer by layer by layer of petals opens up. You don't do anything. Just allow the warmth, the kindness, and the mindfulness, the light, to stay on those petals of the lotus. And one by one, they open up and go deeper and deeper. And it's surprising because you start off with maybe even a negative state, maybe a depressed state, a fed up state, or whatever, mind running all over the place. Just be with it, with kindness and awareness. And what happens is you go inside. And those difficulties or problems or what you think is bad meditation states, they recede away from you. They go further and further away into the distance as what you're experiencing becomes more and more beautiful, more and more subtle. The way of meditation is going inside, never getting rid of things or running away from things or getting more things. You go inside of things. And as you go inside of this moment, more and more and more, it becomes incredibly beautiful. That astounds you. It astounds you. There's so much joy and happiness and beauty right in this moment. What I need to do is to sit here comfortably and kindly. Awareness gets more and more strong, more and more energized, more and more peace, more and more happiness. And what is happening is that you're beginning to like the path of meditation. You're learning just how easy it is, how joyful it is. And after a while, like me, you might get addicted to meditation. It's not a bad thing to get addicted to. In other words, you like it so much that experiences when you have the opportunity for a retreat, 7 days. Great, you've got an excuse to turn off your emails. You've got an excuse not to watch the news. You've got an excuse not to do anything except just to rest, to eat, to exercise, and to go inside of yourself in your meditation. And as you do this, as you deeply go inside, the more mindfulness you have, the more mindfulness, I mean, the more energy that mindfulness has. It gets very empowered. And because it gets empowered, what you see is more and more beautiful. The deeper you go into that 1,000-petaled lotus, which is your body and mind, the thing which you give your name to, as you go deeper and deeper into it, the petals become more fragrant and also more beautiful. The colorings and the texture, everything becomes more subtle and delightful. And because you like the path, it means that when it's a time to meditate, you just want to do it. And when you don't have too much of a problem with restlessness, the mind thinking all over the place. I used to wonder, where does that restlessness come from? And often if my mind would wander off somewhere, start thinking, I would go and grab it and bring it back again. And that was an endless thing which was going on, always wandering here and bringing it back again, wandering somewhere else, bringing it back again. Until you decided to use some insight. Why does the mind wander off? Thinking about things which are not important, fantasizing, dreaming. Why? And I realized that because my mind and I had a bad relationship. Because I was always trying to train my mind. And my mind never lived up to my expectations. I think I could always do more. Bad Ajahn Brahm. Instead of thinking like that, I thought, oh, come on. Be kind to your mind. And soon we became the best of friends. I mean that. Just the idea, the simile of whatever you're watching, you're enjoying, you're learning from, you're valuing, which meant it's very hard for restlessness to come up because I was with my best friend all the time, my meditation. You know what it's like when you're speaking with a good friend. You don't want people to interrupt you. You just, you may sort of look, oh yeah, please call me later, and go back with your best friend. That is what we call like when you get focused on the object of your meditation. And nothing can really much take you away from it. You're enjoying it. There's so many times in meditation, I hope it's happened to you. If it doesn't happen to you yet, I hope it happened to you soon, where you're meditating there and the bell goes or something sort of signals it's time to get out of meditation. And you can't do it. You just don't want to do it. Your mind won't let you do it. You just carry on meditating. Have a wonderful time. And during this retreat, if that happens to you at any time, you're enjoying your meditation, and somebody like me comes along and says, okay, it's now time to come out of your meditation. This session is over. Please ignore me totally and just carry on meditating. If it's your lunchtime, don't worry about that. You can always eat something later on. The point is that when the mind is still and happy, please stay with it. Just imagine for a moment, if the Buddha under the Bodhi tree on his enlightenment day had someone ring the bell. Bang! Okay, Buddha, time to get up, time to have some lunch, time to do something. There would be no Buddha anymore. When the meditation starts working, enjoy it to the max. It's like you're with a best friend. Time just goes by, doesn't have much of a meaning. You have a lot of wonderful times. And you learn to love the meditation. And loving the meditation, seeing the joy, the value, the happiness in it, that is how you focus the mind. It's a natural occurrence when you stop searching for things. You go deep and deep inside your lotus, your body and mind. There's incredible experiences, wonderful states of mind. You enjoy it so much that not only do you get great insights, but other people see it. That's one of the wonderful things about meditation. People say, oh, yeah, but this is so selfish. I'm just taking 7 days out of my life. I should be doing duties to all these other people. And but look, when your meditation finishes, after 7 days, you go back to your family, you go back to work or whatever it is you're doing in life. When you go back there and your boss at work, your family, they see you. Oh, you're such a more happy, wise, peaceful person. It happens so many times that when people, they come on retreats, the benefits are huge. Just again, I think I told Ajahn Chanda last week that one of the fellows came on my last retreat, which I did in November in Johanna Grove. He's a local fellow, but he had a brain cancer. He had a big tumor in his brain, sort of 10 months ago. And he had a choice. Well, what should I do? Take the operation and be on steroids for the rest of my life? I think that's what he told me. He decided to meditate instead. And he came to see me last November with a big smile on his face. So his tumor's gone. The neurosurgeon doesn't know where it went to, but he doesn't need the operation anymore. In remission. And that's happened so many times. It's not a miracle. It's the fact that this meditation can relax you so much. You're having great sort of health afterwards. So those are just some of the benefits. And the happiness, your productivity, overcoming things like please excuse me, but every now and again I confuse the words for these psychological conditions. And I think it's ADHD. I sometimes say by mistake AC/DC. Apparently that was a rock band, AC/DC. But anyway, many of the psychological problems of life tend to disappear too. And if you can see some happiness and beauty and meaning in everything. One of our problems in our modern age, especially times of COVID, that people have lost a lot of their meaning in their life. They can't go where they want to. The family life is not so easy. You can't visit people they love very much. People die in other countries and you can't attend their funeral services. So it's challenged what we take as the meaning of our life. And to me, I think that's always a wonderful thing we could exploit to get a more fuller meaning of life. By that, I mean, we can understand where beauty truly lies and how we can share that beauty just with a bit of peace and happiness and kindness inside of ourselves. So we can actually show by our own behavior just how that beauty is spread in this world. That's one of the reasons why I love sort of seeing kids. That's why sometimes you go to these ceremonies and blessings and stuff, you see people's kids running all over the place. There's a sense they know very little, but they understand a lot. And these kids, I remember telling one of my students who wanted to go on a meditation retreat, but didn't really have the time. And the kids told, Mummy, 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 you have to go to meditation. Oh, I can't, I haven't got the time, I'm too tired, there's so many other things to do, said Mummy. And the kids said, Mummy, you must go to meditation. The kids were only sort of under 10, 8, 9 or something. And Mummy said, why? And the kids, so honest, so articulate. They said, because Mummy, you're a much nicer mummy when you come home from meditation. And little things like that, that's how we practice compassion. Even the kids understood a little bit of meditation makes a mother, makes a father kinder. You're actually spreading kindness in this world, not just by chanting, but by doing something about it, making yourself a kinder, happier, more peaceful person, and thereby spreading the Dhamma far and wide. So that's a little talk to begin with. What we're going to be talking about during this meditation retreat. And all the time, doesn't matter how your mind is, please value the contents of this moment. Give it kindness. It's a kindness which will allow you to be with this moment and allow you to go inside of it. And inside of it, you'll find freedom. Freedom not by getting rid of things or accumulating things. Freedom of going inside of things. The center of the storm of life. In there is where peace and wisdom lie. That's our retreat. And you might think it's just peacefulness. But after you have a really good meditation, you get so much energy. That's one of the reasons why we call this retreat Fizz Sparkle. Kind of like that. Have a sparkling mind, a fizzy mind. It fizzes with kindness, it fizzes with insight, fizzes with wisdom. And those sorts of states of mind we share with the people we pass by in our life and every moment. What a wonderful gift that is. So it's not just about you, it's about everybody. Everybody you'll meet in life. And little by little, you find it's such an easy thing to do. Actually, you just don't do it. You just sit here, be quiet. Don't try and get things. Be kind, and all these wonderful things happen. So there we go. That's the introduction talk. I've got, it's 5:15 p.m. over here in Australia, a nice warm summer's day. But I don't know how cold it is in UK or in Germany or in the US or in Portugal, wherever you are, or Germany. But never mind. Let's do a little bit of meditation now. Are you okay? Ready for it? For those of you who need a toilet break, I don't call it toilet breaks, I call it letting go. Because I see just behind Venerable Canda's photo, she's got a big sign there, let go. So you can always go to the toilet if you wish. But I think we shouldn't really need a toilet break, should we? Nah, anyway, that if you do, you'll come back because we're going to start the guided meditation straight away. You know why? Because sometimes I like to meditate too. Ajahn Brahm, shut up, because I'll maybe for an hour, 20 minutes, and then I'll also talk at the very end. So here we go. So if you can find a nice seat, because I'm at the desk of my little office. Then I'm sitting down on a chair, and once you're reasonably comfortable, I'll just drink some water. It's a hot day. Then close your eyes. Remember, be kind enough to yourself, to your body. Just don't be a sort of a cruel master or mistress over your body. Be kind to your body. Your body has looked after you for so many years. My breath, for example, my breath has never failed me once. I'm still alive. Which means that with my breath, I trust it. In deep meditation, sometimes the breath almost disappears, but I'm never afraid because I know if I need to breathe, the breath will happen. I just relax, trust, and never panic. With my eyes closed, just developing that attitude of caring. If you had your eyes open, you could see me just yawn. I had a busy day, but I don't mind. I can still teach Dhamma. I can still meditate. Close your eyes. And straight away, it's natural. I don't know if it's because it's a habit over 50 years of meditation now. Crikey, it's a long time. Started in 1969. Nevertheless, I always become aware of my body. As I become aware of the body, I know that I'm going to be meditating for 40, 45 minutes. I've got to make sure I'm comfortable. So I just check my posture, starting off with my feet. As you all know, I never wear socks, except maybe in England when it's in the winter time. It's one of the things. I haven't been to England for a while. Next time I go there, I have to get some socks. So I can feel my feet on a little mat under my little office table. You know, I love the sensitivity of this, the mindfulness. I feel all these unique feelings of my feet on the floor. But I also make sure that my feet are comfortable. And if I need to move the feet, I will do so straight away to find the optimum position. Having done this for so many years, I wonder if I really am finding the optimum position, or it's just the case that my body appreciates being cared for. And so because I'm just willing to do this, the body is willing to meet me halfway and be comfortable for me. My feet feel really good now. They're tingling, honestly. Little sort of pleasant sort of itch. Cover of the skin around my feet. I was just meditating by myself. I stayed there much longer. It's pleasant. And then I go up to my ankles. They feel reasonably comfortable. My calves and the skin of my lower legs. The muscles in my calves. I can feel that I did some walking earlier, so I could feel them. Actually quite comfortable. Then to my knees. Many people do have problems with their knees, so sitting on a chair is fine. But my knees are really comfortable. Do you need to move, adjust the position of your knees? If so, why not? Do the fidgeting at the beginning of a meditation so that soon the body is as comfortable. You're actually practicing kindfulness, kind on that part of your body and mindful, aware of it. The lovely thing about the awareness, the mindfulness, it does give you feedback. In other words, you can see just how it is progressing with your knees, and now I've got up to my thighs, whether they are really comfortable in a way which is sustainable for the period of meditation. My knees feel fine. My thighs are just really comfy. Now go to my butt. Just above my butt, I can feel my back needs to be straightened. So I will move. Get it right at the beginning. You have no worries later on. Oh, that feels better. It really does. I also keep precepts, as you all know. So I won't bend the truth for you. How I say is how I feel. So get my butt just comfortable on the chair, and my back I straighten up a bit. Oh, that feels so much more powerful. Interesting the way we use words, powerful and comfortable. So do you need to move your back to make it feel good? Later on, you might just leave the back alone and it moves itself. Often found that it straightens itself, or it leans back, moves to one side. Trust your body. If the body wants to move, let it. But right now, you just make sure it's as comfortable as possible with your awareness and the underlying kindness. I go to my shoulders, just roll them a little bit, make them nice and comfy. And down my arms. Oh, my arms feel so nice. Oh, it just picked up. It often happens to me, just in summertime, because you wear your robes over one shoulder. There's a bit of tightness there. That sort of tightness, it just means the robes just bite into a bit too hard into the shoulder. It makes it a bit sore. So how is your dress? Close your awareness. Make sure they're comfortable. Don't be too cold, too hot, too tight. Loose-fitting clothes are the best. And then I also make sure I go to the torso. So like going up the top part of the body a second time, but this time in the front, to make sure all my organs, digestive tract, is all in good working order. Your lower intestines, upper intestines, your stomach, your lungs, doesn't matter what it actually is, you just feel them. And you relax every part of them as much as you can. How you relax parts of your body, this is what you learn from trial and error, and the mindfulness which learns what works and what doesn't work. And soon you can take almost any part of your body. And it may be bruised, or maybe a wound, or maybe a cancer. You can focus on that, not with fear, but with kindness. And the thing just starts to disappear. You don't want it to disappear because that's too much extra stress. Just let it be. This beautiful kindness. I often thought the kindness is one of the most important parts of healing. And then you go down your arms and your elbows and forearms and wrists. I remember just saying this when I did the meditation on Saturday in Perth. And I look at my hands, I get down there and they're all in the wrong place, my fingers. Don't know why I always do that. But when I meditate and have a look, it's obvious and I just move my hands, which I'm now doing. Once they're comfortable, my whole arms and shoulders are really nice, at ease. And again, just like with my feet, it feels good. I pick up the pleasure. I'm aware of that pleasure, of comfort of the body being at ease, relaxed. And because that's pleasant, it's really easy to stay in the present moment and to enjoy it. If there was some pain, some aches, then I would just want to move and find a place where those pains don't exist. Once it's present, it's easy to stay here and to be still. And then the mindfulness increases, the joy increases, the comfort increases. Fantastic way to meditate. Then I go to my neck. Still hay fever season over here in Western Australia, but it's really lessened now. Most farmers have baled their hay. Live out in the countryside, so that's what happens out here. But my throat is a tiny bit itchy, so I'm aware of that. I relax it. Of all these years, you've learned what attitude is necessary to give things like an itchy throat some peace, some healing. And then I go to the front of my face. I do this because there on the front of the face, around the eyes, the nose, the mouth, forehead if you wish. Sometimes the people have aches and pains or stress because of emotions creating that particular configuration of the muscles of the face. I know those muscles, been aware of them for years. I also know how to relax them. Taking the muscles around my eyes and loosening them. I can notice the feeling changes. You get more at ease. Same with the muscles around my mouth. Feel them. Relax them. How to relax? Just keep on trying. Trial and error. Kindness. Mindfulness. And little by little you learn. Now my face feels so comfortable. I'm caring for it. It relaxes. I have nothing to be afraid of. Nothing I need to get rid of. Just comfortably, contentedly being here. And of course, that also relaxes many emotions, which sometimes screw up the facial muscles. And now I feel my whole body sitting here. My feet, my back, my head, my face. I feel so relaxed. If you do notice the joy of relaxation, stay there. Make that the meditation object for you. The pleasant, relaxed bodily feelings. You'll find that the body relaxes even more when you value relaxation. You don't just take it for granted and say, that's done, let's do something else. You're right in it. Pleasure of a body which is now at ease, not asleep, aware, comfortable. And then it's happening naturally. Start becoming aware of my breathing. So my body is going, my attention is going inwards, away from the outside of the body, into the breath. Usually I go to my state of peace first of all. Now it's just going straight to my breathing. No, I never watch my breath. I just like observe it passively, like being a passenger in a bus or in a car. I don't drive. I don't control things. I just watch. I'm watching my breathing. Because this is happening, I invite you to follow if you wish. You don't have to. And I give this value and kindness to my breath. It's a good friend. We spent many hours together, my eyes closed, just watching my breath go in and go out. I don't want anything more. I'm not trying to exploit my breath to get something deeper. I'm valuing my breath for what it is right now. Enjoying its company. This makes me something very comfortable to watch. The simile which came up was like being in a hammock, lying back in a hammock, swinging to the left, swinging to the right. The breath going in, the breath going out. Being in a hammock means no physical tension. But something is still moving, the breath going in and going out naturally. I'll never force it. Because I never force my breath, it's not afraid of me. I don't oppress it, don't dominate it. So my breath stays with me. It's so easy to watch, even though I'm talking to you. I haven't missed any breath since a couple of minutes ago. As I'm watching my breathing, just being a friend to it, being next to it, being with it, feeling comfortable with it, not trying to control it or own it. If it needs to disappear, it can do, I don't mind. You start to see more and more of your breathing. It's like I saw so much more of my body at the beginning of this meditation. The breath relaxes. It's not tense. It doesn't run away from me. Just here, peaceful. And I know I'm not going to rush off to the next stage. I'm opening up my lotus. The stage of the breath. I know what happens next. You become more and more aware of your breath easily. You're not afraid, I better be careful, otherwise my breath might disappear. Just totally at ease, at peace, relaxed. Like you're with a good friend having a good cup of tea or coffee. Having a wonderful time. It's being with your breath. You start to notice the beginning of your breath. When the first in-breath arises. See how it goes to its peak and then falls away. It's just one in-breath. My in-breath takes maybe about 80% just to go in, and 20% it falls away very quickly. I can see the gaps between my breathings. The in-breath is finished, the out-breath doesn't go out yet. Doesn't need to. Does this all by itself. And I don't exercise my will, my choice, my control at all. That's one of the reasons why things become peaceful. Just watching your breath, that's all, not doing anything. Not trying to get somewhere or attain anything. Just watching this breath happening now. Just like with the body awareness. The breath now starts to be joyful. The piti sukha starts to arise. It's a very pleasant thing to watch. As you go deeper into the lotus, the fragrance, the scent becomes stronger and more fragrant. And over soon these beautiful nimbiters lights will come up. So please excuse me, I'm going to be quiet for the next 15 minutes now. But I have determined to come out to end the meditation just in another 15 or 16 minutes time. It's getting close to the end of the meditation now. How do you feel? Little by little, we start to become aware of our body. Hopefully it's even more relaxed than when you began. You know now how much you can learn. In every meditation, there's no such thing as a bad meditation. You learn so much and grow. And where you grow to is inner peace, wisdom, and kindness. So please just breathe in. Breathe in so gently 3 more times, out 3 times. And then open your eyes and come out of the meditation. If you can come out with a smile, it's always really nice. Take the joy from inside into the outside. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to meditate with you. Gratitude is really wonderful. So often there's some of these people that they're always on call if we need them for special driving or something. Okay to drive us today? You know what they say? They say, thank you for inviting me to help you. They really mean it. So for all of those who live anywhere close to Venerable Canda, please, it's good fun to help out and to drive and cook and feed or whatever. I just really missed that for many years. It's those who give have gratitude for those people we can give to. So today, I've got great gratitude for Venerable Canda and all of the people in Anukampa Bhikkhuni Project for allowing me to give this opportunity to give a bit of Dhamma and a bit of meditation. But that's not all. More is coming later on. But right now, have a very good lunch, those of you who are eating, and I'm just going to go and have a cup of tea. That's what I can have at this time of the day, but it's nice.
Thank you.
Okay,
Ajahn.
so see you later.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. And I'll just say a few words
Bye.
for
Okay.
those who are staying. But Ajahn, please take leave
Okay.
if you wish.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
So now is the so-called break time. So see if you can take that peace, however humble it might seem, into your activities as you get up and maybe stretch and go to the loo, and even the cooking meditation if you are going to have your lunch. I know some of you are actually not in Europe. I think we have someone from America, and I'm not sure how far east we go because of the time zone, but see if everything you do can be an act of loving kindness and care towards yourself, and do it with awareness and kindness. So even when you make your meal, don't just rush to make the quickest, easiest thing, but really put extra care and attention into how you nourish yourself, because that will feed into your practice. And hopefully there may be a little time for rest, either before or after the next session. I'm really looking forward to that because I'm quite tired. So yeah, we do also recommend and ask, if you would, to try to come a little bit early for each session. Even if we're not letting you in until the starting time, it's really helpful because our co-hosts Matthias and Derek and Vinny, that way they can let you in just on time and then enjoy the practice themselves. So if you are late, they have to keep an eye out, they can't meditate. So that would be very, very helpful for us. And we will close the meeting now, so you can sign out. You can just leave the meeting room, and we'll open it up again at about, when's the next session? 11:45, right? So we'll open it up at about 11:45. So you can log in and then enjoy your breathing until we begin. Okay, so have a lovely in-between period, and we'll see you soon. Take care.